In the beginning of the third week, we're going to look at what the Microsoft Excel cells can really contain. It turns out that they can contain either numbers, which can be, for instance, integers without decimal places. They can contain positive and negative numbers and the numbers can also have decimal places in them. And this number 3,02875 e plus 14 means that the number is really rather large and that the comma will have to be shifted by 14 places. This means that the number is actually 3,02875 and 9 more zeros, so it's really large. And if the number would have been with e minus 14, this would have meant that the comma has to be shifted the other way to the left, and the number would have been very small, 0,00, then 13 zeros, and finally 3,02875. That's how scientific numbers are stored. The cells can contain text. And for instance, let's say that you're going to download from the internet the full set of data from some stock exchange regarding regarding the names of owners, all the names of owners of one stock. Then you might have all those names in one cell, and what you want to do is you want to pull the first name and the family name apart. For that we have text functions, and for instance that's how Peter and Geisk have been pulled apart in this case. Furthermore, the cells may contain dates and time. This means that we have either date or time here, or we can even embed both in one cell, which means that let us right now click on Control 1, and we can see that it's not date or time up here, but rather it's custom. It's a more complex way to set things so that we would have date and time both in one cell. But it's absolutely doable, and we will see how it's done later on. So we saw number, date, time, text. Let's see some other things. Cells can also contain Boolean values. Boolean values are after an English philosopher, George Boole, who was one of the founders of computer science. And Boolean values can either be true or false. We're going to see such values, for instance, when we're going to calculate income tax, because if you're under the minimum taxable rate, you actually don't have to pay any income tax. And if you're over, you have to pay, let's say, some kind of percentage from the sum by which you are over the minimum income tax. That's the case actually. That income tax is called proportional. So no matter how much you're over, you still have to pay it by 1% system. There is also something that's widely used, a progressive income tax system, where the more money you get, the bigger the percentage will be on the larger sums of money. So any of the tax systems that you use, when you want to implement it in Microsoft Excel, you will actually have to use such things as Boolean values. You have to construct something called if function, and Boolean values are a part of that. Now there is something else we need to talk about. One other thing that can exist in a cell that we need to talk about, and this is, let's say that you have a number 12 and you want to take 500% of 12. Then we write 500%, and all we need to do is actually multiply these two together. So the multiplication will work, and we will end up with a result 60. We can see that taking 500% from 12 is as if we had taken 5 wholes. That's what 60 will be like. So so it isn't actually a surprise that when we go to this cell 500%, press Control 1, and just to say on the side, we remember the border, the fill, the font options. We didn't touch protection and alignment, and from number we can say the number is like in a sense the most important one of those, because here it says that the cell contains a percentage, and when we will switch it for a number, we can see that 500% will turn into number 5. But this is actually natural, because taking 500% is as if we had taken 5 wholes of 12. And here it is. So for instance, and on the other hand, the multiplication will still have to work. Right now with Control 1, we just said that we still have the same thing inside the cell. We just want to consider it as a number instead of a percentage. So that's why we get all done with multiplication operation, and everything still works. Let's take another example. We have number 12. We take 10%, we take it by multiplying, it will be 1.2, and naturally when we go to format cells, which is Control 1, and choose it to be shown as a number, we have to show some decimal places as well, then 10% will be 0.1. So that's how percentages can be turned into numbers and vice versa. And actually we will see some more complex things coming up, because it'll turn out we can do, even for instance, we can change from dates, we can change dates into numbers, and some stuff will come out of that as well. So that again is for the future to bring.